How are you speaking to me right now?
A simple mix of fern and, well, what else? Magic. I have more than fire up my sleeve, you know.
We already took care of Neo Impulse, so tell me, what are you up to?
I found someone else I could use to get under your skin. And it turns out I was living with them the whole time.
What?
Your cousin, Alex. I'd consider them a friend, taking me in as they did. But friendships don't matter when you have a destiny to fulfill.
Don't you dare hurt them.
Oh, believe me, I don't intend to. But I'm not unwilling. And I think you know what I want. So you can meet me at their place. Alone.
I swear, if you...
Kelly realizes that the connection's broken and falls silent.
Emberly.
She has my cousin.
Well, let's rescue them.
No. This is my fight.
What are you planning on doing?
First things first, I'm going to shrink her and make her regret what she did. While I'm at it.
Kelly moves to where she'd put Neo Impulse and strikes her hands on the table, glaring at them viciously.
What did you do?
Nothing! We didn't know she was doing that!
Oh, is that so?
She puts her hand over Angelo, pinning him to the desk just as he's waking up, and presses down ever so slightly.
If you're lying, you better fess up now.
Just then, Spencer and Tera pull Kelly away from the table.
Kelly, calm down.
Do you realize what they've done?
And with that, they notice Gadley enter.
I don't know. What did they do?
They kidnapped my cousin.
They didn't. They followed orders of someone who did. They were upset. Understandably so. So if you want to punish someone for this, it should be me.
Kelly glares at Spencer. Meanwhile, all of Neo Impulse looks up at him with surprise. Kelly's glare, however, ceases when Max puts a hand on her shoulder.
They'll be okay. We'll save them.
No. I will save them. I don't need Dairyman. I don't need anyone to help solve my problems.
Kelly moves to head out, but Spencer grabs her wrist.
Only after you return them to their original heights.
My cousin is in danger.
Do it now, or we have a problem.
Kelly looked at the expressions of her other friends, who were suddenly looking at her with concern. Glancing at the boy band, she restores them to their normal sizes.
There.
Kelly found high school to be cruel. She used to complain to her cousin about it all the time. She didn't like many people in high school, nor did others like her. It fell to Alex to bust her out of social situations whenever she'd get in trouble. Fortunately for her, Alex was a straight-A student that the faculty liked well. Unfortunately for her, Kelly got in trouble often, and even her cousin sometimes lost friends for sticking up for the outcast. One time, she was sent to the principal's office just minutes before the bell rang to end the school day. Alex took a deep breath as they stepped off the bus. If Kelly now had to walk home, they did too. They rushed to the office to see Kelly there waiting and another kid leaving the room with a bruised nose. Alex sat next to Kelly for comfort.
What happened?
What jerk tries to hit on someone by calling them too headstrong for their own good?
Someone not worth your time.
In comes the principal.
Alex, you don't need to be here. This is your cousin's problem.
I'm staying.
Very well then. Kelly, what's wrong? It's like you want to be expelled.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry.
I believe you, but we can't keep letting this happen.
He was harassing me.
And I've already talked to him about his conduct. He will be dealt with accordingly, but we can't let this go unpunished.
Just say it. You're expelling me, aren't you?
I'm sorry, but...
Wait, what if I could find a way to ensure she can let all of this aggression out outside of school?
I'll see what I can do. We'll make it 2 weeks of suspension instead, if that's what you'd prefer, Kelly.
Yeah. Sure. That works for me.
Kelly and Alex walked home together. On the way, Alex takes a detour near a shopping center. Kelly barely notices the detour until they arrive. She looked up to see a gym, and then at Alex, confused.
A gym?
You need an outlet, and they have classes on fighting, self-defense, and maybe even boxing and stuff?
Why?
Your parents. I know how much they meant to you. They were good at fighting, so this may be a way to feel connected to them.
There's a quick hug that doesn't stop. Kelly holds it as long as she can. Alex is currently tied up in their own apartment. Emberly paces around the kitchen impatiently, her book and some flowers in hand, and she knew Kelly was coming. She actually tried to hide nervousness behind what was likely pretend confidence.
You are determined, aren't you?
I'm sorry. This is important. I can't let you get in my way. And I'm not afraid to use you to get what I need.
I just wish you could see some reason here.
This whole time, Alex's chair leans in a direction toward the kitchen, and that's where they pay attention. Perhaps this following conversation would have never happened if they noticed that Emberly had mistakenly left the door just so slightly ajar. Or if they saw Kelly arriving on the other side, hearing everything that was being said.
There is no reasoning. I need this.
Do you? Do you really? Because this is very important to her too.
I understand that, and I respect her for it, but there was always bound to be a conflict between us. We both desperately need this. But ultimately, it's about what we're willing to give up. And I'm ready to give up anything. And I don't believe her to be willing to do the same.
I can't tell you who deserves the powers, but I can tell you she desperately wants this just as much. Ever since the loss of her parents, she needed something like this to make her life whole. She had almost given up on the world, and she's been much happier ever since she's had this, so I wouldn't blame her if she was willing to risk me for it.
The last few months have brought me down lower than I thought I could ever go. But that's the difference between her and me. I won't give up. I don't let grief consume me, or let the world have its way with me. No, I am powerful and willing to make sure the world sees me as such.
I just wish it didn't put you into conflict with my cousin.
There's no response from Emberly. After a moment, Kelly walks in, and acting like she hadn't heard all of that. But she was slightly resigned instead of barging in, as they expected her to.
There you are.
Let them go.
You know what you need to do to make that happen.
You leave them alone, and you leave my friends alone.
They'll be safe.
Emberly pulls out her spellbook, reads from a page, and a fire is created in her hand, burning the small fern she held.
You see, the magic I need is rather out of my wheelhouse. Doesn't have much to do with fire, but I have these flowers as a way to help. Magic and nature are very connected, but truly, magic is connected to your emotions. You take your desire, link it to either your body, your mind, your spirit, and you can do incredible things. The flowers help with the emotional part.
She then put a flower into the fire.
You know this isn't my desire.
But you do want to keep your cousin safe. We are making a bargain. You will give me the powers, and I will ensure their safety.
They cannot be hurt.
I will ensure that no one lays a finger on them. This deal is your insurance that I am truthful.
Emberly hands Kelly a flower.
I'm giving up power for protection.
Almost as if she knew exactly what to do, Kelly put her flower gently into the fire. The flames took on a golden hue, and then disappeared.
Oh, don't feel bad. You fought well. Perhaps there's a place for you in my new court.
With a cloud of smoke, Emberly is gone, and so are the ropes holding Alex down. They rush to Kelly's side and she looks at them. She still had her new height, but it didn't feel as natural as before. Her eyes remain golden, as does her watch. But she doesn't notice. Alex is with Kelly as she returns to Valpone Labs. Since Kelly couldn't bear to stay in her supersuit after what had just happened, she walked there as a civilian. The lobby is empty, except for a few others, but Gadley is talking to Marigold Fox and Neo Impulse in the hall. Dairyman and Gigagirl were both there waiting for them, while two other figures, a female in armor and the boy Alex recognized from the other night, were sitting in seats, unsure what to make of this.
Kelly, are you okay? What happened?
I gave them up. To save Alex.
I'm so sorry, Kelly.
Thanks. But I'll be fine.
Without much of a word, Kelly goes into a nearby closet and grabs a broom, and starts cleaning while the conversation continues.
Max? Is that you under the mask?
Oh, wow. You figured that out fast. Hey, Alex.
I don't think she's okay.
Are you really okay?
I'm fine.
Suddenly, another figure enters, seeing the mess, and immediately gives a look to Kelly and then to Marigold Fox and the figure in a suit. Alex notices the look on Kelly's face when she avoids his eye contact. This is the dreaded hogwasher.
Excuse me? What the hell went on here? What kind of disaster did she cause now?
She?
Yeah, the troublemaker cleaning up when she should be upstairs with Spencer Reynard.
She is helping. She didn't cause this.
Pardon me. She's usually the troublemaker around here anyway.
No, I'm not.
Don't try to defend yourself to the heroes.
Don't you dare talk about her that way. She is trying her best to work here, and you keep making her feel like shit.
Well, if she was, she'd show it in her work.
She does. Why can't you see that she does?
Alex is stopped by Kelly's hand on their shoulder. She steps forward to look at Hogwasher, and drops the broom.
I quit.
There was no hesitation anymore. No fear of uncertainty. She could only recollect the wasted years in this building, and vow she'd never let it harm her again. Without words, Kelly walks out of the lobby. Max waited nervously outside of Gadley's office. It isn't until a good 40 minutes after he started waiting that Tera exits. She takes a deep breath and looks at Max.
So, what was that about?
I'm registered with the SHGO.
Awesome! That took an hour?
Given my history, it did. But that doesn't matter. How is Kelly doing?
I wish I knew. She hasn't messaged any of us. I'm getting worried.
I know.
As the two walk away from Gadley's office, they hear noise from a nearby room. Max instantly recognizes it as the training room, and he follows the noise as Tera follows him. Max and Tera get into the room and see a figure by the punching bag, and as they get close, they see that it's Kelly. Just repeatedly punching and slamming into it, a mix of fury and determination in her eyes.
Kelly? Are you okay?
Several punches after Max said it, Kelly stops and cannot help but take intense breaths.
No, I'm not.
Max rushes up and hugs her, and she can't help but hold him back.
I'm not giving up. I'm not. If I can't be super, then I'll be like my parents. I don't care how much I need to train.
I think that's smart. We can teach you what we know if you'd like.
Please, do. I'd like that a lot.
Woo!
Max cheers Kelly on as she stands in the ring with Tera.
You got this, Kelly!
They had been practicing for hours, and it was clear that Kelly was not new to this. Even though Tera had to punch softer since Kelly is no longer near indestructible, Kelly kept up with her well.
You're a hard hitter, but you should probably avoid attacks more. You can't always rely on brute force.
Yes, Sensei.
Sensei. Okay. I think we're about done for now.
Are you sure? I could go more. I know I'm rusty.
Are you kidding? How long has it been since you boxed?
Since high school ended.
Well, you're a natural. You don't need to be 50 feet tall to kick ass. You can do it just how you are.
I appreciate that. Now, come on, farm boy. It's your turn to spar.
I'm not much of a boxer. I'm more of a dodger.
Nonsense. I've seen you fight.
I mean, if we were doing karate, I'd be so down.
Okay then, teach me that.
Slow down. Even heroes need a break.
You're determined, aren't you?
I refuse to let this be the end. I will not allow the humdrum of the city to lull me into a life of...
Normality?
Exactly. I'm not gonna let this city trap me.
As he walks into the room, Spencer overhears this conversation.
Good for you. I might have an opportunity.
Oh?
I want to follow some leads about the Sisterhood of Star. And even though you technically don't work for Valpone Labs anymore, would you care to join?
Getting out of this city? Hell yeah.
What about the rest of us?
I figured you came along with her. Package deal.
Fair.
And as for Tera,
I was the one who made you aware of their activities. I'm already invested, so you're not getting rid of me.
I figured as much.
And of course, Eddie and Kira?
They're welcome to come, if they don't have other plans.
What are they even up to?
Kira and Eddie were in the same building. Kira's hiding out in the destroyed lab of Dr. Geyser, the most secluded place she could be. She was looking at a piece of paper while sitting at the doctor's desk. Her rapier, Permafrost, sits at her side as she occasionally traces her fingers along the hilt. It was one of the first few things that Eddie noticed when he walked into the room.
Do you have her location?
She's hiding in an abandoned pet store at the city's edge.
How do you know that?
Tamarisk, the curse I inflicted on her when she was banished. I'm able to track her.
Where's the store?
What do you plan on doing?
Well, reason with her, of course.
That's not happening.
Kira, come on.
No, you don't get it. She's too dangerous to leave alone.
Look, I get it. She's dangerous, but...
Her war destroyed homes and farms across my kingdom and caused the loss of good people. Haven't you read the books?
Oh, come on. You know I can't read that well.
Well then, don't act as if you know her. I know her. She may be able to put up a friendly front, but she will betray you and stab you in the back the first chance she gets.
Maybe that's what the books say, but have you ever considered that she was never the cause of the war, but a byproduct of it?
Even so, she had her chance to change, and she didn't take it.
You need to have faith in her. You can't expect her to change overnight because you defeated her in war.
You've been spending too much time around Max.
No, you haven't spent enough time around Max. You've been gone for 3 years, and now you're different.
I am. I grew up.
Kira gets up and begins to walk past him out the door, but Eddie starts to follow.
I'm coming with you.
No, you aren't.
The quick flick of her wrist, Kira freezes Eddie's feet to the floor with ice.
You're staying here.
Kira heads for the door, but almost immediately finds her feet stuck to the floor. She looked down, finding the substance of her stasis to be meat. Sticky meat. She looks back to Eddie, holding the meat slab that he used half of to do that trick.
Then so are you.
Eddie, let me go.
Eddie bends the rest of the meat into a hammer that he then used to break the ice at his feet. He then gets between Kira and the door.
Not if you're going to make a decision you'll regret.
I have no other option now.
Kira sends a blast of ice at him, pushing him back a few feet. Eddie creates a meat shield to block most of the weight of the attack, though.
Fine, if that's how it's going to be.
He raises his hand, causing the meat stuck to Kira's feet to rise, pushing her back now.
She's fooling you into believing she is a good person.
She is, and she can be, are not the same thing.
Well, she can't.
Kira slices permafrost through the meat between her feet, causing it to freeze up, and she bursts through it.
You're not going to win this fight, Eddie.
We'll just have to see about that.
Eddie then turned the rest of the meat into a sword, waiting for her to strike. Kira doesn't right away, examining him and his posture.
You're in the proper stance.
Because she taught me.
Kira rushes towards him. Her sword clashes with his, but he holds his ground. He gets pushed back a bit as she tries to shove him to get past. But instead of trying to overpower her, he makes the disarming motion he learned a few days prior. Kira is then surprised to find permafrost leaving her grip and colliding with the wall. She gives Eddie a look, impressed and proud of her friend. When she runs for the sword, he does too. Kira's run is suddenly stopped again by meat trapping her to the ground, allowing Eddie to be the only one to make it to the rapier. He grabs the hilt and turns to try and keep it away from her.
Does this show you I'm serious enough?
Kira's eyes are on the sword. Eddie looks down to see the rapier's layout change. It goes from an icy blue to royal purple with an almost regal pattern. The blade turns into a scimitar, rather than its original form.
It changes form to suit the person holding it.
I'll give it back, you just gotta cool down. Or warm up?
Eddie, I'm sorry. I understand that I seem hasty. I promise I'm never going to hurt you. You're one of my closest friends.
It's not me I'm worried about.
You don't understand, Eddie.
I understand fine. It's just that she's not that. We can fix her.
Okay. If you can believe it, I can accept it.
Thank you.
Eddie walks back to Kira and presents the sword to her, which she gladly takes. The blade returns to its rapier form before Eddie had grabbed it, and they share a smile. That is, until doubt starts in Kira again. She takes the sword and stabs the ground between her and Eddie. There's a massive blast of ice, and the next thing Eddie knows, his whole body is frozen except his head. The meat at Kira's feet is frozen, and she's released.
What are you doing?
You'll thank me later.
Kira walks out of the room, but she turns the thermostat up before she does. Emberly spent time in her new hideout, reading her spellbook and casting identification spells on her brooch. She wanted to know everything about it. Queen Beach City was the answer to all of her problems, full of crazy heroes and villains with incredible powers, and there were likely more. If she could control them, she'd have an army capable of efficiently taking back her homeland. Her research told her that this was possible. These mirages connected to some kind of source that powered all their abilities, and she knew there was no way that these weren't magical. With the powers of the Empyrean, Emberly could manipulate it to do her bidding. She didn't know how yet, but that's what her spellbook was for. She was hyper-focused. That was until her stomach couldn't help but start to whine, and she remembered that she hadn't eaten that day or the day before. So with a bit of reluctance, she went to take care of that problem. Turns out her reluctance wasn't unfounded. When she returns to the shop, she opens the door and goes in, and the lights she left on are now off. She didn't know how this technology worked, but she was sure it wasn't supposed to do that. She didn't pay much mind to it until she feels a pinch of pain that she recognizes as the tamarisk curse that could track her. So she goes to the checkout counter where she was studying her spellbook. Her pride sinks as she sees her spellbook, and the flowers she had collected are tattered and in ruin.
No!
Her eyes glowed in golden flame as she turned to try and rush out to see if the culprit had gotten far. Kira gets behind her, striking with a single slash to the neck meant to decapitate the evil queen, as if putting her to the guillotine. But the sword passes through her as the skin and bones of her neck turn into pure golden fire. It's unclear which parts of Emberly are flesh and which are pure flame as she turned to Kira, grabbing her armor and pushing her back into the wall. There is no snark or sass, only fury and tears of ember.
You ruin everything!
Kira tries to slice through the flames diagonally, relying on Permafrost's ice powers. When she does this, the part of Emberly's body that the rapier went through is suddenly flesh again. Kira takes a few more slices at Emberly, who is too disoriented to respond. She only continues to get pushed back. Once Emberly is mostly back to flesh, Kira is quick to try and take her chance. A stab through the neck should do it, and get it over with. But is blocked by something more rigid than the icy flesh that she expected. And suddenly T-Bone is between the two of them, using his shield to block a strike that would have finished Emberly off, and once again, saving her life.
Eddie, no!
Sorry, I can't let you.
T-Bone pushes her back, and she stumbles to the ground. Emberly looks up to see this, and suddenly, the ice all over her bursts into a blast of fire, leaving her corporeal form looking almost human.
Are you okay?
Emberly ignores him, walking around to find Kira, who goes to get up but finds herself disoriented as she loses all sense of balance for a moment. She realizes that Emberly is currently shrinking her, as she finds herself just small enough to fit under Emberly's shoe. She accepts the loss and betrayal in a display that Eddie can only see as disturbing, knowing what Emberly plans on doing.
You ruined my entire life, and now you're just a bug. But I will give you the mercy you never offered me.
Emberly then goes to squash her, and Kira doesn't even run.
No, wait!
What?
Please don't. This isn't right.
If you're trying to convince me with morals, you will not quell any flame.
Please. She's my friend.
I thought I was your friend.
You are, and I care about you both. I don't want to see her hurt. Please. For me.
On one condition. You stay by my side. Now that your friend has accepted her truth, you have no reason to refuse my offer.
I suppose so.
Emberly picks Kira up from the floor. Instead of squashing her, she goes over to one of the mouse cages and puts her inside. Eddie desperately tries to examine Kira's expression, but all he gets is a look of disgust and betrayal.
But she stays out of my way, at least until I'm finished.
I understand.
Emberly returned to her now destroyed spellbook, caressing what's left of the pages and wishing her magic could fix it. But the only thing she can do is watch it burn. She even has to snuff out the fire that starts, only adding insult to injury.
Are you okay?
She ignores the question. Instead, she goes up to him and gets as close as possible, while still seeming professional.
Thank you. You saved my life twice now, and I can't let that go unnoticed.
Hey, it's okay if you sometimes need someone to be there. It's okay to show weakness. It makes you human.
And I won't judge you for that.
Thank you for watching Starmarked, Queen Beach City. This episode was brought to you by Asparagus, because it's easier to say asparagus instead of Aspara-August.